friend of mine, a mentor of mine, and this was a while back. I just happened to think about it, and I told him, I said, "You're my hero," and he looked at me and he shook his head. I said, "Well, what's wrong?" He said, "You have to be your own hero. Where you want to go in life, the things you want in life. It's only one way you're going to get it. And that's if you go get it. So you have to be your own hero. Nobody's going to do it for you." And I was just sitting here at my table, at my kitchen table, thinking about that. How many people is waiting for somebody else to do it for them? Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's coming to save you. And that was eye-opening for me. That was eye-opening for me. If I don't do it, it ain't happening. And I made sure I tried to see to it that my sons understand that if you don't go get it, you ain't gonna have it. Cause you're a man, and I can't do it for you. And I thought, well, maybe I can. See my sons, right? So I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I can do some things for them. Yeah, you could do some things, but I can't be their hero. And I know what y'all saying. Well, all dads are their son's hero. Yeah, yep. Why they little boys? But once they become men, or once they become women, they have to be their own hero. They have to understand that the decisions they make dictate the life they live. What's that saying? You make the choice, then later on the choice make you. There's no getting around that. That's for everybody. That's for everybody. If you decide to rob the gas station, that decision made you a convict. If you made the choice to go to college and graduate, say you studied law and you graduated, that decision made you a lawyer. You made the choice, later on the choice make you. You decide to eat poorly, you'll be obese, have diabetes. But it all comes back to you, to me. Who you want to be. It's your decision. You're a man, you're a woman. It's your decision. Nobody can save you. You have to save you. And I remember that day. I remember that day like I can look at it right now. That's how fresh it is in my head. And I know I had to make a decision. I had to make a decision on who am I? What do I want? And I was thinking, I didn't know what I wanted. I just knew, it's crazy. I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew what I didn't want. And what I didn't want, I didn't want to be poor. I didn't want to live in a terrible neighborhood. I didn't want to feel unsafe. I didn't want my children to feel that. I wanted to create an atmosphere of love, of happiness, where they felt safe, where I felt safe. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do it. I had no idea how to do it. You know, it's funny, today I call myself the atmosphere changer. I didn't know how to change my own atmosphere. I didn't know how to change my address. You know, I was blessed that after my parents passed at an early age. My father passed when I was 4 months. My mother passed when I was 9 years old. I was blessed that my mother's sister took me, my brother, and my sister in. She had 2 kids as well. She had 2 sons. I was blessed that she was a person who believed in education. She understood that she understood the power of education. You know, she ended up being a nurse. She went to college for nursing, and she did something else. I can't remember. But she always said, if you want something, you have to learn how to do it. You have to become skilled in it. You got to become certified in it. You got to have specialized knowledge. And when I first came out of high school as a young man, I'm 20 years older than my oldest boys. So, you know, I got my girlfriend at the time pregnant at 19. And I remember holding my first son. I was looking at him, and I was terrified. I'm sorry. Let me speak up. Yeah, my bad. And I was terrified because I couldn't take care of me. How was I going to take care of this child? How was I going to do that? I was working at a grocery store making $3.35 an hour. 40 hours, my check was $99, I swear. I never forget that. Had no skill. Well, I knew I had to work. And I think about how afraid I was. How am I gonna take care of this boy? I can't take care of me. I had to become my own hero. How did I become my own hero? You know, at first I'd worked a couple of jobs. I would work 2 jobs to make ends meet, because that's what I knew to do. That's all I knew to do, was to go to work. That's all I knew. Go to work. So that's what I did. But even working 2 jobs, it wasn't enough. And then it took my most prized resource away from me. It took my time. So that's what the children need, because I have 2 kids. I had 2 kids by this time. By the time I was 21, I had 2 kids, and all I know is go to work. Now I got these jobs that's paying me minimum wage. I'm working around the clock. Now that don't sound good, but the truth is, that was the start of me being my own hero. That was the start of me being my own hero, because no matter what it took, I was willing to do it. Some people aren't willing to do it. Some people aren't willing to do what's ever necessary to take care of themselves, to take care of their family. Some people just turn away and walk away from their responsibilities. Like I said, working two full-time jobs was not ideal, but it was the start of me being my own hero. Because now I had a little extra money. I didn't have a lot of time, but I had some money. And I'm be honest, I don't know where I learned this at. But what I think I did know is the purpose of money is to get more money. Poor people think money is to buy stuff. Middle class people think money is to pay bills. The rich people
Invest.
well, not just invest, but they know that money is to get more money. And like I said, my mother had a great job and she had great friends, so that matters. That matters. My aunt who raised me, she had great friends, and guess what? They had money. So I was around people with money. So, as I was saying now, before I was rudely interrupted by my wife, I understood that I had money and that money was to get more money. I just didn't know how to get some money. So, at one of my jobs, I was working at a place called Kenwood Country Club. Have you guys ever heard of Carl Linder? He used to own the Cincinnati Reds. This was in 1993. I was a waiter there, and I don't know what gave me the courage to do it. It was lunchtime, dining room packed. Now I said Kenwood Country Club. People like Johnny Bench, the Reds, those were the type of people who were members at this country club. Like I said, Carl Linder, billionaire, right? So I was waiting on Carl Linder. I was his waiter. And something possessed me to say, hey, Mr. Linder, how can I get rich? That got me fired, by the way. But anyway, he put his knife and fork down. He looked at me and he said, duplicate your hours, Mark. Duplicate your hours. I'm already working 80, 90 hours a week. I can't duplicate my hours. I go to lunch. Now, Carl Linder owned this store called UDF, United Dairy Farmers. That's big here in Ohio, Cincinnati. As I'm going to lunch, I drive past a UDF, right? 5, 6 blocks down a little farther, there's another UDF. I get down to this neighborhood named Norwood, called Norwood, because I was going to this certain place to buy me a hamburger or something, I forget. I see a third UDF. And then that's when it hit me. Duplicate my hours. 1 United Dairy, 2 United Dairy, 3 United Dairy. I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm like, well, I ain't got money like that to buy no United Dairies. I don't know nothing about, ice cream or dairy or none of that, or buy candy. I don't know none of that. So I'm like, okay, I understand the concept, but how do I apply this in my life? I'm riding, I'm thinking. I look at an apartment building. I was like, mm. One apartment building, two apartment, three apartment. Duplicate my hours. I'm so I'm so excited. I can't wait to get back to the club. So hoping that I'll run into Mr. Linder so I could tell him I understand what he was saying. Well, when I get back to the club, they meet me at the gate. I'm fired, let go, no longer with us. Because I shouldn't have bothered that man, but I'm glad I did. But I end up, it took me a few years, I'd say probably about 3 or 4 years after that, before I got my first building. And I bought a 2-family. And that changed everything for me. Because now my biggest bill, rent, it went away. And at that time, expensive rent was $700. I wish I could pay $700 now. At that time, $700 was expensive, right? I was having kids. I have 7 children, 5 boys, 2 girls. And they multiplied really quick. But I bought that 2-family house. And now my tenant was paying the mortgage. And I was living rent free. So now I got $700 a month extra. Now that don't sound like a lot of money. But back then, it was. To me, it was back then. It changed everything for me. Because rent was my hardest, that was my biggest bill. Like I said, this was in the 90s. This was probably like 97 by then. Then I got another one. Now after everything was paid, I was getting $300-400. Now not only was I no longer paying rent, I generated $400 extra. I became my own hero. I was about to say without being educated, but that's not true because I was educated. It was just different. It was a different education. But it changed things for me. I had a new perspective. And as an atmosphere changer, the moral of this story is what I'm trying to get you to understand is little changes in your life, new habits, new small habits, just a few new small habits can change your life. A few small new habits can change your life. It don't take much. It takes consistency and it takes desire. That's all it takes to have a better life, to live a successful life. That's all it takes. That's all this live is about. Make some small changes to better yourself and be consistent. I don't care what it is. Make a decision. Decision is the 5th element of the 5 elements of a successful life. But I believe it's the most important. Make a decision. This is what I want. This is who I am. This is what I'm doing. And then start doing it. at least a little bit of it every day. If you want some muscles, start with 5 push-ups a day. If you want to lose weight, I don't change your diet. What your chief aim may be to find out what type of food should I be eating. But whatever it is, start doing it right now. Not tomorrow, right now. Today. Because once you make that decision and you believe it, it is so. What do the scriptures tell us? As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Let me say it in layman terms. We think in pictures. Have a clear intention, a clear picture. A heightened emotion. Get excited about it. As a man thinketh in his heart, that's your feelings in your heart. Get excited about it. Backed by faith. Believe it. And it is so. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Have a clear intention with a heightened emotion backed by faith. It is so. Whatever you want, believe that you are that right now and start trying to do it. I am the atmosphere changer. That's who I believe I am. So that's what I'm going to do every day until I can't do it. And that's the attitude you have to have. Attitude, that's the third element of a successful life. Purpose, vision, attitude, discipline, and decision. Those are the 5 elements of a successful life. That attitude, I put it in the middle because it's the connector to vision and discipline. You have to have a crystal clear vision of who you are and what you want. Then you got to be disciplined to do the work. You can think it all day long, but if you're not going to do the action, nothing's going to happen. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If this video has moved you, inspired you, share it with somebody. I'm your boy Ward, the Atmosphere Changer, and I'll see you on the next video.